Eric asked to take a picture with me, and so he comes up behind me and puts his arm around my waist, and I make a joke like, all right, we got this old school prom picture pose going on. And Eric is like, watch this. This ain't no high school prom picture pose. And he comes and gets very physical with me. I'm a lady, you don't touch me that way.
Let's talk about this. Hi everyone, this is Sami Sampi. Welcome back to my channel. We're back where we left 2 weeks ago. Dakiya is explaining to Tommy and the other ladies that she does not want to see Eric anymore. Eric was being playful with her and decided to touch her inappropriately. Dakiya is now explaining to us that it was so inappropriate that she decided that she does not want to date Eric anymore. She believes that he has some self-reflecting to do. Tommy said that he understands and that he's going to talk to Eric. A part of me is like, Mr. Eric, why would you touch a lady that you do not have a romantic relationship with? You didn't ask her to do so. She didn't allow you to do so. You basically took liberties you should not have to, and that is a big problem. Tommy explained to the ladies that this week he wants the gentlemen of her choices to meet with her exes. Joy is telling us from the beginning that she knows that Clifton has a problem with the whole ex situation. A part of me is wondering if maybe Clifton has been cheated on or something like that for her to say that. The next date we have Joy with her ex. She chose Laverne and Clifton. Laverne comes in first and he really is joking around with Joy's ex and they're having a good time talking to each other. Not really talking about anything, but Laverne is definitely making him at ease. Then Clifton comes in. Clifton is taken aback. He thought that he was going for a date with Joy, but instead he sees Laverne there and her ex, so he's definitely on the defensive, but he's trying really hard to not show it. So even though he's not happy, Clifton comes in there, strolling there, and he says hi to everyone. And then they start talking a little bit more, and Clifton asks a question. Ask the ex, what is his relationship with Joy? Are they still sexing each other or something? And the ex is like, you asking that question, I'm just letting you know right away, Joy does not like a jealous man. And a part of me was like, Joy is friend with the ex, and Clifton is taken aback because he doesn't know that this is supposed to happen, which to me is kind of surprising because this is a thing for Ready to Love. So I'm wondering, like, y'all never watched the show before y'all decided to get in there? Y'all really didn't know that at some point you would be meeting with the exes? But yeah, but at the same time, I do feel that the ex didn't necessarily need to tell Clifton that, you know, because it doesn't mean that Clifton is jealous. He just wants to know what the relationship is, because some people are friends with benefit, you know, they're saying they're exes, but they still sleep with each other, right? So we never know. Would have I asked the question if I was Clifton? No. But would have wondered that, would have I asked it to myself, like inside of my mind? Yeah, definitely. He was taken aback. He didn't know he was coming to see the ex and everything. So yeah, so the ex is telling him that, and Clifton is like taken aback and he's like, well, he's not jealous, he's just asking the question. So it was a little bit tense, but then things got better since Laverne was there and he was being very joyful and extra and competitive. Then Clifton and Laverne leaves Joy and her ex, and the ex said that he's sad to say that he believed that Clifton is actually a better choice for Joy than Laverne is, because Laverne didn't really go into detail as far as his relationship with Joy. He wasn't really asking interesting question like that. He wasn't really digging. So he feels that based on what he knows of Joy, he believes that Clifton is a better choice for her. And I like the fact that the ex was being honest, because that little tense moment with Clifton, he could have decided to be petty and be like, you know, I think Laverne is a better fit for you because he has a better personality or something like that. But the fact that he's really trying to be fair shows that he does mean well to Joy. Next, we have Mr. Eric, who is coming to see Tommy, and Eric is looking really sad and everything. And he comes and sit down with Tommy, and Tommy asks him what's going on. And Eric tells him that he had a big shift with Dakiya. Eric said that when talking to Dakiya, she was hurt by a behavior that he had with her. basically because you touched her inappropriately, Eric. And he's explaining the situation to Tommy, and he proceeds to say that he doesn't want to hurt anybody, and if he made her feel bad, he is sorry. And a part of me is like, Eric, I know you're trying to do damage control, and you seem very sad about what you did, but I just want to make sure that you really realize that what you did was not right. That you're over 40 years old. Why do you think that acting this way is okay? Have you had sex with Dakiya? Did she agree to you touching her that way? Like, why do you feel so comfortable to taking such liberties with her? I am dumbfounded, really. And Tommy is taking it gracefully. He's being very calm with him. But I wish that Tommy made it clear to him that his behavior was unacceptable and that and should never be done again. Because apparently, this is how a man over 40 years old should be talked to. Like, they need to be taught those things, because apparently they do not know that you shouldn't be taking liberties with someone's body against their will. And that is a problem. When Eric said that he is not ready to love and he needs to do some self-reflecting, I was happy about it, because that was exactly what Dakiya said. And a part of me was like, you really only left because of the bad publicity that it could bring your business? If you remember in previous episode, Eric was cooking and, you know, promoting his business, doing a good job at that. But now that you had that bad behavior, you staying in the show would have probably put your business in jeopardy. So what I think that Eric was doing is damage control. But because he looked really sad, I really hope that he meant it and that he really, really is apologetic. Next scene, we have Miss Carmen coming in with her ex, holding hands. I'm like, who holds hands with their ex? They are looking pretty close, mind you. But yeah, she's walking with her ex, who looks really good. He has that salt and pepper, and I'm like, he looks better than most of those guys they're talking to, you know? And she decided to bring in Donovan and P.O. Yeah, I think she probably brought P.O. because since Eric left, Donovan was like her next choice, because she made it clear that she does not want to deal with Laverne. So they both gentlemen comes, and the ex asks them some question, and you know, things are doing well. And as the ex asked them how they think they would handle the fact that Carmen works with like basketball player and celebrities, and if that's something that they think would be a problem. And both of them say no, they don't think it would be a problem and everything. So yeah, the date goes really well, but it seems that the ex like thinks that Donovan would be a better fit for Carmen and the lifestyle that she has. I also wanted to say that it's so funny how Carmen chose to move forward with the show, but whenever she saw competition in Dakiya for Eric, she had no problem putting Dakiya down for the Mandem. And now that Eric is out, she's continuing with the show. She's continuing doing what she gotta do. So that's to show you how people are quick to change on you, especially when it's about the competition. It's not really about if they really want to build something with you. So let it be a lesson for you all, ladies and gentlemen. Next, we have Ace and her ex, Devon, and they're talking to each other. Devon looks really good. He has those blonde dreadlocks, and he has that beautiful light skin, and he's a painter. And I'm like, I do not expect less from you, Ace. And you know, they're just talking and everything. And Ace chose to have Tori and Laverne. So both gentlemen comes, and the date goes well. The ex is asking question to them and is letting them know that Ace is an alpha. And a part of me is like, it's funny, because I would have seen Ace to be more like not an alpha like the other word. And yeah, he's saying that she's an alpha, so he would like to know what they think about that, and if they would be an alpha in the relationship or something else. And Tori is saying that for him, it's not about being an alpha. He just want to make sure that they have an healthy relationship. So I thought Tori's response was really well. And then Devon asked them how they handle jealousy. He asked Laverne specifically if he's ever been jealous. And Laverne said no, he's never been jealous ever, because he knows he's everything. He can be in front of Barack Obama and he's sitting all other names, and he would still be very confident, because he's really confident in himself. And there's nobody in this world that made him ever jealous. And a part of me like, yeah, So from previous episode, you said you've never been in a relationship before. You're 44 years old. Then you're saying that you've never been jealous. Now we're learning that you have two daughters. So Laverne, you're telling us that you have two daughters, but you've never really been in a relationship before. And now you're adding that you've never been jealous. I feel like those were like red flags. 44 years old and he has that type of attitude. I don't know. I'm not really seeing it for Laverne now. And he's saying that he's open to have more kids. He's taking his ginseng. He's ready, you know, because it seems that Ace does not have children yet. So yeah, the conversation goes really well. And at the end, Ace's ex is telling her, Devon, is telling us that if she wants to be led, she should choose Laverne. That if she wants to lead, she should choose Tori. Next, we have Sabrina and her ex. Her ex is cute, y'all. I thought it was cute. He has that little brown skin and those waves. He was a cute guy. And Sabrina has several guys that she wants her ex to meet. So she organized a separate date with Demetrius because, you know, Demetrius is her first choice. So she wants him to, you know, meet on a one-on-one basis with her ex. And then she has a double date with Tori and Donovan. So when Demetrius arrives, he meets the ex and he's like, okay, I see how, you know, Sabrina, you know, likes Demetrius. They're kind of like the same type of guy with the beautiful brown skin. And Demetrius says that Sabrina's ex seems to be like a nice guy. So, you know, they have a good discussion and things are going well. During Sabrina's other date with Tori and Donovan, so Tori comes in first. Tori comes in with some flour and a mean mug. And he's telling us that he doesn't really understand how Sabrina is having so many connections with so many people at the same time. And the way he's saying it, it's like he's a little like frosty about it. And I'm like, Demetrius, Tori, get over it. You know, like just get over it. You had the opportunity to make your own connection. Actually, you have two. You have Sabrina and you have Ace. So why do you feel that Sabrina cannot have many connections? So he comes in there and he says that he is okay, like, to not show his feelings, but your feelings are showing. Like, your demeanor is really not, it's kind of like closed. And Sabrina notices it and her ex too. So they try to talk, but it's cricket silence. Donovan comes and Donovan already been on another date with the ex, so you know he's ready because he went to the date with Carmen and her ex. So he's coming, he has flowers and he's smiling and he's smooth and he's engaging. He's asking all those questions to Sabrina and to her ex and things are well. And then at the same time you have Tori that is having like little snide remarks with the ex and Sabrina, not really being like someone that's really interested in her. And then when the ex is asking question, is like, so if I had to choose today, do you see yourself with Sabrina? And Tori is like, yeah, well, we're still learning to know each other and everything. But Tori is still salty, right? He still does not like the fact that Sabrina kissed Demetrius. And even though he got his revenge by kissing Precious, he's still salty about the situation. He's not over it. And a part of me is feeling like, Tori is just not able to handle the competition. That politically correct answer, but then when the ex asked the question to Donovan, Donovan is like, yeah, I see myself with Sabrina. And Donovan tells us, you know what, this is the first time I'm saying it, but you know, I mean it. Sabrina is a nice girl and I think we would be a good fit. And the ex is like, well, I think you get your answer here. And I agree. Tori is disqualifying himself. He's removing himself. I thought that was a missed opportunity for him. And his personality is showing through and it's not cute, you know. When you came into that Ready to Love show, you knew that this could be a possibility, but now that it's there, you're just not able to handle it. After they left, the ex is telling Sabrina that he thinks that if she goes with Demetrius, things could be really well, but he thinks that Donovan can take her to the next level. Next, we have Tina, who chose to go on a date with Pio and Demetrius. So her ex is there. He looks a little young, you know, because she said she liked them older, which is something that Pio notices as soon as he comes. And, you know, they all say hi to each other. And then Demetrius comes and Pio is like, what the heck? I didn't know this connection was happening. And Tina said, yeah, on the last date with Demetrius, they really vibed well, and he's a contender, so that's why she invited him. So they get to talk, and the guys are asking questions to the ex, and the ex is asking them questions, and then at some point, it goes into a tangent, and the ex is letting them know how she broke his phone in the past, how she's not good at communicating. And I'm like, Tina, stop that thing. Like, this guy is making you a disservice. Like, he's not making you look good in the eyes of this other guy. This guy was just ready to just throw you under the bus, and that is just unacceptable. And if I was you, I would have defended myself. You know, this is your show. Like, what? But yeah, so I'll talk and everything, and when the guy is done dishing, the guy's left, and her ex is telling her that he thinks that Pio would be a better fit for her. He thinks that Demetrius still got some issues. I'm not sure what issues they could have noticed from Demetrius, especially that he's not a very talkative man. But anyway, and Tina is saying the same. So it seems that Pio is actually #1 contender for Miss Tina. We have Mr. Clifton, who is going on a date with Dakiya and her ex. And Mr. Clifton is still not happy about the ex thing, even though now he's aware that this is going to happen. But he said it's going to be fair game. So he gets there, say hi to Dakiya, does not even want to like shake the ends of the ex. That was awkward, y'all. And then, you know, they all sit down, and Clifton is showing his insecurities again. And he's like talking to the ex and touching Dakiya, trying to see how the ex is going to act. And he's telling us that he feels like he should have been doing the same thing with Joy. And a part of me is that it would have been harder to do it with Joy just because Laverne was also there. But yeah, so basically Clifton is like using that time to kind of like play games a little bit. He wants to see if Dakiya still has something for the ex. And I was like, Clifton, I know that you've probably been hurt in the past, but you're doing a little too much. You're a grown-ass man. You're 40 years old. You need to get over your feelings. Those ladies are genuinely interested in you. They've made it clear and from the beginning. And why didn't you watch the show and know that this was going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, them having the ex comes does not mean that they talk to each other all the time. It may just means that they got in touch with them specifically for the show. So just be a little bit more secure. And a part of me is like, do you want Dakiya like that? Like, are you still unsure, or if you want to be with Joy or with Dakiya? Like, what's the point? Like, unless you really want to be with Dakiya, which even is still not a reason, why are you doing all of this? Y'all let me know what you think. I feel like Clifton should be over that situation with the ex. You know, I feel like, and if he's not over with it, I think that he should work on himself. Y'all, please let me know what you think in the comment. I'm very interested to know what you are thinking about all of this. The ladies are back in the ladies' lounge. And Tommy is letting them know that Eric decided that he's not ready to love and he's not part of the show anymore. And Dakiya is saying, good. And I'm not going to lie, I really like the way Dakiya handled that situation. She came with facts. She didn't add a lot of like artifacts to explain what she wanted to say. She made a point clear, concise. I thought that's worth appreciating. She was not being dramatic about it. She was being, I felt, very sincere, which we saw when Eric later talked to Tommy. It looks like he did something wrong. And I also like the fact that she gave him a little bit of grace, because I felt like she could have, you know, gone about it a little bit less professional and add a little bit of pepper. No, she went about it very maturely. And I felt like she deserved an applause for that. All the ladies are saying what happened during the date with the ex, and Sabrina said that this was very insightful and that Tommy was right. So everybody is talking about how everything went, and then it's time for them to decide who they think is not ready to love. So most of the ladies are bringing Laverne's name, who they're saying they just do not have a connection with. And at this point, I think it makes sense, right? Like, everybody at this point is clear or close to clear on who they really like or not, right? So it's either you have that one person and you're laser focused on them, or you have two person that you are not into. So if Laverne is not a second choice or first choice for a lot of ladies, I think it makes sense if his name comes out a lot. And then Tori is also on the chopping block. Next, we have Miss Dakiya, who was chosen to take Tori on a date. And Tori comes, is looking really proper, is being very polite, and is, opening the chair for Dakiya, is giving her a hug, and they get to talk. Dakiya tells him that the ladies thinks that he needs to stay, that he is still ready to love, and she's giving him advices, and I thought that was really nice. And she's saying that she likes Tori, she likes his vibes and everything. And I'm like, oh wow, I guess like you still want to try to build a connection that far in the game, okay. Miss Sabrina that was chosen to talk to Mr. Laverne. So Laverne came in ready to fight. He was in sweat, y'all. He was wearing sneakers and jogging. He was in sweat. He was ready to fight. So he comes in and Sabrina stand up, being very polite. She wants to give him a hug, and he's like, you can just get a dab. You can just get a dab. I thought that was so disrespectful. And then he's not even giving her the opportunity to talk. He basically knows that he's going to get eliminated. Someone told him what was said, but it seemed that even more was said, because Laverne is under the impression that some of the ladies were conspiring against him. So he's angry at that. And he's letting Sabrina know, and he does not want to let her talk, and he's cutting her off. And Sabrina is taken aback. And she's like, Laverne, I don't have any problem with you. And she's trying to explain to him the situation, but Laverne is not letting her talk. And I'm like, Laverne, you're starting to show your colors. Now I see. Because from the beginning, we've had like remarks from the other cast member, and I was like, what's going on? What's going on? But now we're starting to see you. We're starting to see you. So because he knows he's going to get eliminated, he's just ready to fight. And I'm like, no, that's not how you go. And I'm so happy Sabrina defended herself. And she told him, I personally do not have any problem with you. The ladies eliminated you because they do not have a connection with you. And Laverne is like, no, they're trying to break me. They're trying to break me and Ace and break what we have. And she's like, that's just not what's going on. And at some point, she's getting tired, so she decides to leave. And I mean, I'm understanding, like, I wouldn't even have the patience that Sabrina had. And in her confessional, she's like, he hasn't even been a factor for me. Laverne has not been a factor for me. I just don't understand his behavior. And then she leaves. And then we have Laverne talking to the producer, and he's saying stuff like, it's been 44 years that he's been this way, and he's going to remain this way. I think it's better for him to be single. And I'm like, how does you being eliminated stops you from continuing staying in touch with Ace? See, guys, he's showing his true color. This was just a game for Laverne. Laverne just wanted to make it to what he thinks are the final. Laverne wasn't trying to build a solid and strong connection. Because now that he got eliminated, he's like, oh no, I'm done. He has never worked for 44 years. And he's proud to say that stuff. That's really disconcerting. Like, that's concerning, actually. And yeah, he's like not even thinking about Ace no more. And they're asking him like, you could still do something with Ace. And I don't even really know what he said, but he was so much in his feelings. So yeah, I thought Laverne had a very petty behavior, especially for someone his age. And honestly, I'm glad he's leaving, because it's him showing his true color. He's like, girl, goodbye. So on this note, ladies and gentlemen, it was nice having you. I will see you all next week for another review of Ready to Love. Thank you all so much for you all subscribing and supporting me. And I hope to see you next week. Bye.